but it taught me how to create opportunity. Because something that I think a lot of people don't realize, because when you meet me and you say, oh my gosh, Stanford University graduate, CEO, technology executive, I was an entrepreneur, I was a White House commissioner, and people think, wow. But there's another way of introducing me. Somebody who lived on dirt streets. Family lived paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes we didn't even have a paycheck, and we had to live with other family members. So how did that girl who grew up on dirt streets and had a family life that lived paycheck to paycheck, how did I become this woman? And Girl Scouts played a very important role in that. The amazing cookie program taught me how to create opportunity. Robert, since my family didn't have a lot of money, I thought I'd have to quit Girl Scouts, but my troop leader taught me, no, you just have to sell more cookies. And
that's awesome.
How do you do it? And that's really important, Robert, because when you grow up in poverty or near poverty, you don't know how to create opportunity. And no one around you does. Because if they did, you wouldn't be in that place.
Sure.
And so in Girl Scouts, they taught me how to set a goal, how you break it down into achievable steps. You get help when you need it. And that sounds simple, but to somebody growing up like I did, that opened up my mind and helped me see I could make my dreams come true. I could dream and set big goals, and I could break them down into smaller pieces and make them happen. And actually in fourth grade, my school teacher, Mrs. Baldwin, showed our class a picture of Stanford University. And having grown up in the desert and to see those beautiful green hills, the red tile roof, limestone building, I said, I want to go there. And she came to my desk and she said, you're a smart girl, and it's one of the best schools in the world. And she said, you can go there. And having now learned how to create opportunity in Girl Scouts, I said, okay, that's my goal. How do I break it down? I have to get good grades. And I'm really proud of the fact that I'm one of the first male or female Hispanics to have ever gotten their graduate engineering degree from Stanford.
Wow.
And Girl Scouts taught me that, and they taught me about persistence and resilience. Robert, one of the other great things I learned through that iconic cookie program was my troop leader taught me never leave the side of a sale until you've heard no 3 times. Now, Robert, I grew up all my grandparents are from Mexico. I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household. In our household, children were not to speak to an adult until they were spoken to. That kind of makes it hard to go and make your goals in selling cookies.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was so important that the troop leader taught me that even when, you had to get outside of yourself and go ask for the order. And even when somebody said no, you worked at it to turn it into a yes. And when the first time that happened, and I finally got the person the third time to buy a box of cookies, I realized I could do this. I could turn those no's into yeses. And that helped me so much, Robert, because growing up when I did and how I did, people didn't always look at me and see future leader, future engineer. In fact, the guidance counselor at my school, when I went to sign up for college counseling, she looked at me and she said, what are you doing here? And I said, I want to go to college. And she looked at me and she said, girls like you don't go to college.
Wow.
But by that time, I've been a good Girl Scout. That was just my first no. I brushed right back by that. I stood up. I walked into her office, sat down. She had no choice but to follow me. And then she asked me, well, what are you going to study? And I said, I'm going to be an engineer. And she laughed and she said, girls aren't engineers. So what did I do? I went on and became a rocket scientist. But what was so great about Girl Scouts is it had taught me how to flex that muscle of resilience, persistence, having the confidence. And, so that wasn't something that I had to learn then. I learned it as a young age, and then I was able to practice it. So I got pretty good at it. And then as a result of that, after I graduated from Stanford and I was a rocket scientist and I started working technology companies, I used that also in my career. Whenever somebody said no, I would be persistent, I'd be resilient. How do I get that to a yes? And, that was something I had learned from Girl Scouts.